I'm Matty Matheson, and I'm here today to answer all of your questions from the internet, Twitter. Woo! This is Chef Support. I'm Matty Matheson. I've had millions of cookies in my life. This has never happened. What is happening? Emma, it looks like you're fucked. I don't think you have enough flour. You probably don't have any baking powder or baking soda in there. I don't know what recipe you use. Yeah, I think you're that's a start over. Next, at Matty Matheson, why aren't these fluffy? If you whip egg whites and the temperature of your batter when you're adding, because you add warm butter, melted butter to the batter as well. If that's too hot, that will kind of diffuse your whipped egg whites, and then you'll have flat cakes. At E. Griesendike, what is a sauce exactly? Is syrup a sauce? Where do you draw the line? Oh, Eddie. This is maple syrup. This is not a sauce. This is a syrup. If I was to take this and add this to maybe mayonnaise, or if I was to add this to chicken stock, those would become a maple mayonnaise, which would be a sauce. Or I could add this to chicken stock, reduce that, and make like a chicken maple glaze, which is a sauce. Don't get lost in the sauce. Get lost forever, my dude. At Shinakoja. Matty, do you marinate chicken with pickle brine and buttermilk at the same time? If you were to take buttermilk and pickle brine and add them together, what would happen is you'd get really murky kind of swamp water, and it kind of defeats the purpose of both. So buttermilk is an acidic cream or, dairy product. That is to help the chicken, help it bread, gets the coating on there. And because it's buttermilk and it's sour, it kind of helps ferment and add flavor to the chicken itself. And the pickle brine is completely different, where you're adding a lot of salt content. Adding them together, I would suggest not. You could brine for a day and then take it out, put it in buttermilk for a few hours, but you really don't need to do any of those things. At Mike Reich 1K, I want to get my chicken wang dipped in some mustard with a fruit roll-up. Go fuck yourself. I don't even know what you're talking about. Wasting my time. Thomas M. After frying food, is there a way to recycle the oil? I hate wasting resources more than anything, especially food. I have the same problem. I fill up a big pot. I want to fry fried chicken at home. What do I do with that oil? Let it cool. Pass it through a coffee filter at home. Just pour it through a coffee filter. And I save it. And then I use that multiple times. Probably 4 or 5 times until it gets a little too gnarly. And then you have to throw it out. Next. At Boat My Float. And I made your fish au Medine today. Sadly, my sauce split, so I had to fix it. Any advice on how to emulsify a sauce? If you have a pan sauce like this, it's really difficult to bring it back once it is split. As soon as you start emulsifying, though, you take your pan off of the heat. You don't want an emulsified sauce to boil. You're going to Monte something into it, throw some butter into it and Monte and stir. What you do, you take it kind of off of the heat, and then you Monte, and then you put it back onto the pan, and you keep it warm, and you got to play with it, and you got to stir and take it off and on and off and on. But even when making mayonnaise, if you see a mayonnaise is about to split, you could add ice water. Ice water really helps bringing things back. It's a stabilizer. Weird enough, you're adding water to a oil-based dish, which is a stabilizer. I don't know the secrets, all of them. Does that help? Buddy. At Roman O'Patrick. First time successfully hanging a prosciutto. Anything I can do with the 11-month-old bone? I would suggest making a soup. At Chef Nick Valley. What's the recommended time and temp for roast pork belly? Chef. You have at Chef, and I'm just me. There's no chef in front of my name. And you're asking me kind of a funny question. You're roasting pork belly, right? What are you going to try to do with that pork belly? You just want roasted pork belly? There's so many things that you could do. You could roast it to 145 degrees. Do you want a little bit of bite on it, or do you want it to be soft? There's a lot of little weird things that go into cooking pork belly to begin with. You're the chef. I'm going to leave that one up to you there, bozo. Okay, at Carrie Balla, how do you feel about broccoli? Broccoli is one of the greatest vegetables in the world. If your foot gets eaten up by ants, you can take broccoli and rub broccoli on all your ant bites and it will heal it. Did you know that? You know the big problem with rose gardens? They always get black spots on the leaves. If you take broccoli and bury it in the ground next to those rose bushes, gone! Natural bug repellent. You're in the wilderness. You're getting eaten by mosquitoes. Broccoli. Repellent. Natural repellent. Do you know all the... What? Do you know? Look at this guy. Fish. I made your zesty fried chicken. How do I keep from burning? Oil too hot? Well, at Benjamin G. Fisher, let me tell you something. If you fried chicken at 300 degrees Fahrenheit, I'd say 12 to 15 minutes, you are going to have perfect golden fried chicken every single time. If you're shallow frying, like maybe you did here, and you're using like a cast iron pan filled with oil, what you want to do is be on medium-high heat, and you still want to get your oil in the pan around 300, but as soon as you add fried chicken to that pan, the temperature will drop. This is the hard thing about cooking, is that you have to preemptively crank your oil, if you're going to shallow fry, right before you add all of that cold chicken. And if you crank it while it's in there, it may burn, and then your chicken's raw in the middle. But it's just about finding that sweet spot. 47p. That's the cost of my vegan lunch. But apparently that's too expensive to people addicted to cheese and meat. Vegan revolution, let me tell you something. Your food looks disgusting. You got canned beans and chopped up cucumbers on white toast. Fucking chill out, dog. Live your life. At Dyer Andy. Question. What's the easiest way to de-seed a pomegranate? This is the fastest way. There you go. How long did that take? Why do people ask these questions? Whose laptop is this? Needs a wipe. At Brandon Wienerd. That's a good last name, Wienerd. Ranch dressing, question mark, question mark, with wings? Question marks, question marks, question mark. Are you fucking serious? I would never eat chicken wings with ranch dressing. Ranch dressing is disgusting and should be illegal. At _ Nicole. I'm an idiot for not knowing how to properly cut a pineapple. You know, first of all, you shouldn't shame yourself. You're not an idiot. Let's not use names. So just cut the top off, really simply. Cut off the bottom. There you go. And then what you do is you take your knife, and then you just kind of cut along the edges, and then you want to make sure that you don't get any of these like spiky things. And so then you cut thinner ridges, and you just cut all the way around, and you just keep moving, and you just cut away, cut away, cut away. There you go. You got a pineapple. If you don't like the core, you can cut it in half. Just take your knife like that, like that. Take out that rough core if you don't like that. Now you got beautiful pineapple. There you go, pineapple. Yo, man, Madison, how does my meat sludge look? Looks like meat sludge, bro. You nailed it. Just nailed it, buddy. Absolutely beautiful. Looks like a big bowl of diarrhea. God bless. At Last Word Apparel. Hey, man, Madison, what would you add to wild rice to step up the flavor a bit? Are these the questions that you are pondering, you fucking weirdos? Throw your fucking dirty underwear in there, give it a stir, and let me know how that tastes. At Tokley, M.M. Madison, what do you think of spatchcock cooking a turkey? I don't know, spatchcocking a turkey I think is actually smart. I think, you know, you got a big bird, you want the legs to cook the same as the breast, flatten it out, roast it. I think that's a really great idea, actually. Also, Maddie, how in the hell, so you make garlic dipping sauce, you'd save me thousands of dollars in pizza orders. How much pizza are you ordering? Garlic dipping sauce? Take garlic, blend it up, add sour cream and some mayonnaise. There you go. I think that's all you need to do. I really hope that I answered some of your questions. Some were stupid, some were ridiculous, but some were thoughtful. So I hope we found the middle ground. I hope we came together. I hope you learned a bit. You know, I even learned a little bit. And, you know, keep tweeting me. I love reading this shit.